The Festival of the Will, an Electric Fire Festival, Processional and Alleluia. We bow in utter silence before the one and only one who is and yet is not. Of it naught true may e'er be said, nor thought. Thus in stillness, motionless, we now abide, and honor in our soundless heart the fathomless, the boundless, from which the might of self has sprung, mysterious, unfathomable, the only one who is the none. We gather now to celebrate the will, firstborn of the spirit, most intimate to self, faculty most potent of the seven, guarantor of purpose, sustainer of the plan, resolute upholder of all worlds, conqueror of Maya, master over Mara, victor over deadly multiplicity, commanding all the lunar lords, demanding of the solar gods, dominating villainous desire. We celebrate the will, we venerate the will. All honor to God's holy will, which moves the turning worlds. Together let us sound the mantram of the will. In the center of the will of God I stand. Naught shall deflect my will from His. I implement that will by love. I turn towards the field of service. I, the triangle divine, work out that will within the square, and serve my fellow men. Let our fiat issue forth. Let us proclaim our willingness to will. All together, I will. I will. I will. I am that whose first act is the will. I am that I am, and I will. Before the sacred council's door, the questor and his mentor meet in deepest contemplation. Mentor. Who are you, my questing son? Questor. I am a son of will, my lord and mentor of my life. Mentor. Why call yourself a son of will, O son of mortal clay? Questor. Because I live as spirit even now upon the highest plains of earth, a monad in full glory, descended yet remaining ever home. Mentor. Say more, as one who claims his hidden root in highest heaven. Explain your sacred origin. Questor. A spirit I came forth, a spirit I remain, though all too well disguised in densest form. My nature is pure power, and yet I shine, a child of the sun of love, the Logos blue. I walk the earth, a clodden form, but flame am I within. A point of whitest fire am I, who guarantees expression of God's fixed design, expression of my fixed design on earth. I am not what I seem to be, far more am I than this, O teacher from the sacred heart. My home is in the sun, my work upon the earth. I am a ray of highest heaven, persevering here below, that highest may the lowest meet, and God's great will be done.
Force irresistible, force irrepressible, energy invincible, the energy of will. irresistible force, irrepressible, energy, invincible, the energy of energy, unconquerable, energy, indomitable, force, unassailable, the holy force of the energy of will, the holy force of will, the energy of
Meditation. Let us ponder on the will, on the nature of the will, on the potency of will, on the majesty of will. Why is will mysterious? Why for mortal man all but unknown? Why is will unlike what man has thought the will to be? Why is will, if truly will, so peaceful and so silent? Search your life with keenest eye, and find that point where will must be applied to drive you forward, propelling progress onward. Find that point and learn to be a line. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, willingly we will to will. Mentor. Stand forth, O Son of God, and yet of will. If will is your paternity, tell to me, what will you first? how shall you begin your quest? Quester. Forth I come, an arrow from the triple bow of light and love and power. A self am I, a willing self, set upon a task impelled above. As task the first, I seek in specificity to be. I will to be, to here abide, to hold unmoved my sanctioned place in universe, releasing my non-entity, becoming an identity, a time and space-born ego far from home. Mentor. Then will you nothing do, O new-come self, remembering the nothingness of home? Quester. To be is first, the very first. To do must later come. Essence is my first intent, to hold my place in being. Expression then may follow, not before. Meditation. In meditation deep, let us focus on the will to be. Is this essential mode of will alive in us in any way? Can we find its spirit's source within our inmost heart? What meaning has the will to be within our daily lives? Are we? Do we stand in being? Let us ponder with precision and with depth. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will to be. Mentor. You will to be, that much is clear. You will to be and are. But for A, will you abide in being all alone? Is focus in pure beingness sufficient for your destiny? Disclose your inmost thought. Questor. I feel the bliss of isolated unity. I feel perfection unalloyed, and yet I am dissatisfied. Other than myself am I, other than the sameness of the spirit self-contained. Otherness is in myself, and otherness I must become. To otherness I must relate, in unity, in love. Mentor. How will you do this, questing soul? How will you know the other as yourself? Questor. By willing with the will to love, by fusing poles apart, by gathering all living things in solar fire within the silent chamber of my heart. Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder on the will to love. The will to love with the essence of fire. What motivates our will to love, if to love we will? How shall we will the will to love with utmost practicality? What habits stand opposed the circulation of this loving will? Will we will to love until the radiance of love pours freely through and from our hearts? Let us ponder deeply. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will to love. Mentor. With love you burn, my questing soul. You will to be, and also will to love. Have you thus become complete? Is your journey now concluded? Will you now no further go? Quester. My descent is scarce begun, O Mentor of my inner life. A persevering Lord am I, ceaseless in devotion. I will to reach the utmost depths, and so redeem those fallen into ignorance and sightlessness. Intricate this God-made world, endless in variety, confusing to my many fallen brother-sister souls. Mine the task to know the woven garment of my God. Mine the task to see God's creativity in action. Mine the task to extricate all souls who writhe entangled in complexity. Mine the task to know the many threads which bind my brothers to oblivion. And thus I will to know.
Shattered chains, shatter ions, shatter bonds of ignorance, shatter chains, shatter ions, shatter bonds of ignorance. Behold, behold, enlightenment unfettered, streaming from the heart of blackest night, streaming from the blinding blackness of the brightest
Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder on the will to know. What would we know that now remains in darkness? What is the most important truth which must emerge into the light, if progress towards the life divine be made? How will we overcome the looming ignorance preventing sight? How indeed will we know? Let us ponder deeply. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will to know. Mentor, you have fulfilled the Trinity, O knowing, loving, willing soul. The threefold essence you have gathered, made your own. What will you do with new-found strengths, with riches now amassed? Will you rest content in their enjoyment, satisfied, at last complete? Quester, not at all, my noble guide. Never could I rest content with riches of the higher worlds, for I am not alone. Those below now call to me. I hear their yearning cry, demanding my descent, yearning for the presence of an entering God, to vitalize their will to reach the place from whence I journeyed forth. Mentor, but are you not afraid to lose the powers you possess, the sublime expanded vision now your own? Quester, never, noble Mentor. All that I give returns to me 100-fold. Giving is 100 times receiving. Yet what care I for that which is returned? I hear their cry, I see their plight. A sacrifice is needed now, my sacrifice, my own. And thus with fiery willingness I will to sacrifice myself for those who seek to be as now I am. Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder on the heartfelt will to sacrifice. Ponder on the will to give and give again, asking nothing, thinking nothing, hoping nothing for the tiny separated self. Ponder on that mode of will at work within your life. The sacrifice of what? Deep sacrifice for whom? How will you overcome the lunar prompting to negate your sacrificial will? How nigh unto achievement is the utter sacrifice of all forever? Ponder, deeply ponder. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with a force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will to sacrifice. Mentor. Now, my son, you dwell below, fallen as the angels fell, far from your exalted state. Sacrifice has been your choice, and you have given all. What will you do within this foreign land? Questor. Here below, the daily round of helpfulness is now my lot. Here below, I seek and find my brother's need. Then with ever-growing skill, I meet that need, fulfilling insufficiency, compensating scarcity and want. Mentor. What motivates you, questing soul, to meet with such alacrity your brother's every need? Questor. A radiant soul-inspired heart, O mentor of my life. Spontaneously I love and serve, joyfully I love and serve. Willingly I will to serve. My soul commands me thus to do. Swiftly I obey. Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder on the will to serve, the will to see another's need and meet that need both selflessly and swiftly. Ponder on the will to serve at work within your life. Whom do you serve, and why? How may this service strengthen? How may this service deepen? How will you overcome the age-old selfishness which longs for service of the self and not to meet a brother's need? Let us ponder deeply. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will to serve. Mentor, reveal the greatest needs of those you serve, O willing servant of the race of humankind. What gifts should you bestow? Quester, I first bestow the gift of light, throwing saving light upon their darkened, convoluted paths, which lead but to oblivion and ruin, that they may see the way to go, that they may see the goodness God intends, and seeing thus may hasten towards their distant goal with gladness and intelligence, with patience and endurance, yet quick of step and high in heart. The light I bear reveals their way ahead. Mentor, what motivates this endless pouring forth of light upon their darkened ways? Why shine you with such constancy? Quester, because I came from boundless light, where bliss and love and power unite. When I behold their blinded state, I find the contrast painful, far too anguished, far too great. Thus I will the light for them, thus will I to illumine their return unto the central sun, from which all beings issued forth in ages long forgotten. Thus will I, to illumine every path which leads them home. Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder on the will to illumine, the will to bear the light, the will to carry light into the dark and twisted passages of customary thought. Ask and let the answer come. Am I a bearer of the light? If so, to whom? If so, for whom? And how may I intensify the living light I bear, thus vanquishing the darkness that enwraps the prisoned soul of man? Let us ponder deeply. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will to illumine. Mentor, you shine the light upon their path, you light the way unto their goal. Speak of the result of all your labors to illumine. Quester, those I serve are free to hasten towards a higher life. Free are they to enter into deeper love. Free are they to see more light within the light I shine upon their path. They are freer, ever freer to become the very self they are. Mentor, what is freedom to a soul in bondage? Speak. What makes a soul enslaved? What makes it free? Quester, freedom is remembrance of the Spirit. Freedom is infusion by the soul. Freedom is the sunshine of the greater sun, which shines upon the blissful sparks who dance upon the square. Freedom is the truest state of man, his spirit state. I will them free, I will them free, I will to set each prisoner free. I will the will to freedom for each spirit, for each soul. I will to see the human spirit free.
Freedom, freedom, we invoke thee, we demand thee. Freedom.
Freedom from the ancient mood, freedom from the nightfall terror, writhing in elusive moonlight. Freedom from the lonely ego, freedom from the great mistake. Freedom from profoundest depths. Free to be the heavenly name, free to be the heavenly word,
Free to be the one and only.
free to be the one in many, free to be the one, free within God's omnipresence, freeing of the nations, freeing of the nations. Let us will the will to freedom, let the will to freedom.
Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder on the urgent will to freedom, the urge of spirit unrestrained to do whate'er it will, the better to express, the better to fulfill its fixed design, and fully be whate'er it is. From what or whom would you be free? For what or whom would you be free? How will you be the victor over all that binds your soul? Ponder well the path to blissful freedom. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will the will to freedom. Mentor. Increasing freedom now is theirs. Abundantly you have bestowed your triple power, and free they are. At least more free than they could be without the bounty of your love. How would you that they use the freedom you have helped them gain? Questor. let them freely seek the good, freely seek the pattern God intends. In freedom let them find the destined beauty of God's purpose, of God's plan. In their new-found freedom let them hasten to the living truth. In their new-found freedom let them seek the beauteous light. In beauty and in truth let them fully will the greatest good for all. Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder well the will to good, the will unto the best for all, the will unto the beauteous pattern God intends. Am I good? Let each one ask, but let him know what goodness truly means. The good lies deep in God's own thought. The good lies deep in love divine. The good is power released when all is right. Thus goodness comes from knowing, loving, being God, identifying with the One. Thus am I good? And if not yet, how then may I be more so? How may the good pervade my life? How may the good express through me? How may I will the good, becoming thus the good I will? Let us ponder deeply. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with a force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will the good. Mentor, through your labors questing soul, many are the sons of men now oriented towards the good. Ever better have their lives become. What seek you next to do? Quester, empower them, my Lord. My sacrifice and service have thrown light upon their way, illumining their path, providing freedom to pursue the good. Power comes when all is done aright. Power comes to those who serve the greatness of God's law. Let power divine pour through their lives, so joyful and with vibrancy they all may play their destined part. Mine is now the will to power, for all who would ascend unto the Spirit, which is power divine itself.
Power over power power through, we sing the will to power. Power within, power without, power ahead and round about, we sing the will to power. Power on the towering heights, power in the lightless depths, power in all dimensions, we sing the will to power. Why submit to weakness? Why surrender? Why succumb? Instead embrace the will to power. Power to make thy will be done. Power to make thy will be done. We sing the will to power. Power moves, power sways, surging in 10,000 ways. Heartily, triumphantly, we sing the will to power. 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 The will to power. The will to power. Joyfully, victoriously, we sing the will to power. We sing the will to power.
Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder on the will to power, the power to express God's will, and rise triumphant over all that holds the soul in chains. Power divine is joy. Power divine is happiness, full bliss. Am I filled with spirit power? If not, what blocks the surge? Do I stand in readiness to will that rising power seize my life and drive me forward to my goal? What makes me weak? What renders me for spirit power unfit? How cast away these wretched patterns, robbing me of power divine? Let us ponder well the deepest sources of our strength. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together in service of humanity, and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will the will to power. Mentor. O questing and empowering soul, those you serve have risen up in spirit strength, possessed by power divine. Joyously they serve a higher source, instead of meaninglessly slaving far below. For what are they now fit, and what your task? Questor. They are fit to build the peace, O Mentor of my life, to build the peace, the harmony of all. Mine the task to show the way to peace, and more, to be that very peace myself. Thus representing spirit, and brimming, filled with soul, I carry equilibrium and harmlessness to all I meet. I carry equanimity and friendliness to all. I yearn to see relationship perfected deep within me. I long to see relationship perfected round about me. Perfection in relationship I will. I will with radiant love divine, the blessed will to peace.
When all forces and all energies conspire in subtle harmony, then will
Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder well the will to peace. Ponder well the will unto the harmony and unity of all. Perfected, fully synergized relationship which gives to every soul its due, enhancing soul expression through an all-pervading resonance, exacting and attuned. Not passive peace, but peace dynamic for the widest good. When and if I will the peace, do I will peace but for the consolation of the anxious little self, or for the welfare of the greater whole? Can I establish harmony within myself, harmonious as well within the whole? Am I concord or disturbance in expression? Make of me an instrument of thy peace, not mine own, O Lord of peace eternal. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will the will to peace. Mentor. From the very first you named yourself a son of will, then proved as fact, as truth, the name you chose. Much has been accomplished, and a certain peace prevails. Whither, questing son of will, your chosen task now at an end? Quester. There is no end, O wise and watchful mentor of my life. An end but seems to be. Other greater tasks await, and other duties call at length. But even here my task is not complete. The culture of Shambhala's life must break upon this time-worn world. Thus, even as I rise returning to the source from whence I came, final gifts I will bestow to free the soul of man still more, rendering soul unto its spirit home. Mentor, what further gifts do you intend? What will you further show? Quester, instruction in most selfless virtue I will now essay. Virtue, which if mastered, gives the key into the highest realms. I'll first attack the tendency of vengeful man to retribution sought for any slightest pain endured. Revenge must vanish in forgiveness, or the race be doomed. As spirit ever giving, as soul created but for giving, heavenly forgiveness will I show, and demonstrate in selflessness the will to forgive.
The terrors of the ancient past arise, devouring all present good. Hatred for the wrongs endured comes crawling from its secret place.
Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder well the will unto forgiveness. Let us be for giving, and for blessing, and for healing bleeding wounds of bygone days, releasing hardened feelings into trust of ever-present good. Cut athwart the selfish heart, tear it open in the giving of pure love to those we used to love to hate. How hard to uproot malice, how hard to check the karma of revenge. Ponder well and truly, what have I forgiven? Whom have I forgiven? With forgiveness true and real? What have I yet to forgive? Whom have I yet to forgive? Do I will to do so? Will I really do so? If so, how? Ponder well forgiveness as an act of grace divine, transcending human tendency to err. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will to forgive. Mentor. The beauty of forgiveness you have soundly taught, O questing son of will. Has spirit satisfaction now arisen in your soul? Quester. I joy to see release and flow instead of cursed bitterness. I joy to see the power to progress replace all hatred and revenge. My will is now enlivened by the power of Shambhala. The will to save of great Shambhalic lords inspires my spirit and my soul. A monad from Shambhalic heights, I once went forth to save. Returning, I remember my commitment, Spirit's oath. Thus I will to save, thus I will to save, thus I will to manifest the heavenly bliss which lives in those who save.
They languish, they pine, they fail and they falter.
They stumble, they stagger, they weaken and they fall. Draw them forth from out the field of
They cower, they tremble, they shudder, they retreat.
They gasp, they exhale.
Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder well the will to save, the will to lift the fallen ones, the fainting and forgotten ones, into those higher dimensions where their spirit power may be restored, saving them from suffocation, saving them from dark oppression, saving them from shattered hope, which dares no longer yearn for strength of soul. Does the Spirit of the Saviour live within our pulsing heart? Has the soul of the Redeemer made its home within our all-too-human soul? Has the will to save found place within the customary bondage of our psyche? What is its expression? What its method of release? Save whom? How save? Let us ponder on the will to save, the will of the Shambhalic Lords. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will to save. Mentor, you stand in all humility, O questing son of will, in utter abnegation, a committed savior of the race. You rise, and rising lift them, your brothers, sisters, all. Your lengthy task now nearly done, what holy gestures yet remain? Questor, obstruction to the synthesis of God I must destroy. Dynamic must my final offering be. Before me looms the horror of the tangled world illusion. With sword in hand, uplifted for the final stroke, the Gordian knot of Maya I behold. God allows no second. God demands of those who serve Shambhala a blotting out of form. Thus will I to destroy the world illusion. Thus will I to destroy perception's chains. Thus, at last, I will to destroy.
She will strike dead the allure of the world. She will strike dead the allure of the world. She will strike dead the allure of the world. She will strike dead the allure of the world. Obliterate, annihilate all lesser things than God. Obliterate, annihilate all lesser things than God.
Let destruction reign, let destruction reign. Eradicate, exterminate all lesser things than God. Let devastation reign, let devastation reign. Eradicate, exterminate all lesser things than God. Eradicate, exterminate all lesser things than God.
Strike them dead, strike them, strike them dead.
Strike them dead, strike them dead.
Shiver, behold, a world destroyed, a world of self alone.
Release the will to destroy.
Release the will to destroy, release upon humanity. Release upon humanity. The will to destroy unreality.
She must strike dead in the roar of the world. She must strike dead in the roar of the world. She must strike dead in the roar of the world. She must strike dead in the roar of the world.
Obliterate, annihilate all lesser things than God. Obliterate, annihilate all lesser things, all lower things, all other things than God.
Meditation. In meditation deep, let us focus concentration on the will to destroy. Destruction as an act of love. Destruction to release the bound and hidden God within. Let us focus on the will to end obstruction to the presence. When we think of devastation, does a chilling terror grip our hearts? When thinking of destruction, does a ready fear arise? That all we love shall disappear, that those we love shall be removed, that every pleasure of our lives shall harshly be denied? Or do we see a deeper purpose in this cruel termination of our warm and former joys? Should destruction be with suddenness released within our bounded lives, where should that destruction strike? Where the reign of ruin hold its sway? If we will destruction, what old patterns should be smashed at once, smashed and swept away? Are we really willing to endure the tribulation, to abide such an ordeal? Let us ponder seriously and deeply. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will to destroy. Mentor, illusion lies in ruins at your feet, O questing son of will. The power of Shiva conquers all, and through your arduous toil on their behalf, more spirit souls there are who, like yourself, now triumph o'er the world illusion. Tell me now, my son, and tell as well the brothers of the fifth, among whom now you stand, what you will do now, standing in destruction's wake. Quester, from this time forth, O teacher, mentor of my life, I dwell within the synthesis which ever is. I represent the synthesis which, ever uncreated, is the bliss of life itself. In isolated unity, inhering in the might of Atma, once again the monad I have ever been, I know myself as whole. Thus all who know me truly know the wholeness of the whole. From henceforth, for my term of service to Shambhala and its king, I will to will the synthesis eternal that I am. Meditation. In meditation wide and deep, let now the will to synthesis preoccupy our questing minds. The will to see the wholeness, the will to be the wholeness, the will to merge with spirit all identified with wholeness. Have we the intensity to be intent on synthesis? Or do we care alone for lesser, petty things which blind us to the whole? Why the will to synthesis? What profit will it bring? Why forsake the part to find the whole? Elusive and mysterious, the subtle path to wholeness. Do we know it? Do we tread it? If so, why? Let us ponder on this final aspect of the rising will, the will to be the synthesis, the whole. Together and in oneness we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's King, we will the will to synthesis. Mentor. O Son of Will, even as your Mentor is, we welcome your return unto the heights, unto dimensions long familiar to your spirit monad self. As monad in the council of the One of awful power, will you shortly quit this little earth for higher ventures in the light? Or will you stay among us for a certain time, directing those below? Quester. Worthy Mentor, Master of my rising life in God, of course I will remain. One with all below am I, and one with all above. Time no longer holds me, for my ego is dissolved in the eternal now. Greater ventures still await, I know, But I'll not hurry from this little sphere away. As long as the King will have me, him I'll serve. For he is the exemplar, is he not? And while he stands on duty, and while he stands in sacrifice, for eon after eon, why should those he has so helped ungratefully demand advantage in far brighter spheres than he himself has chosen to indwell? No, I'll not depart. As long as he will have me, here I'll stay, and be, and love, and spread the light. Thus to do I will, until my term of service is concluded. I'll serve with utter joy Shambhala's will, the holy will of our Kumaric King.
We stand within the center, in the center of the will of God, in the center of the will of God, with all our power, and all our might. We will God's will, we will God's will. We stand within the center of the love of God, in the center of the love of God, with all our heart and our soul. We will God's love, we will God's love. We stand within the center of the mind of God, in the center of the mind of God, with all our thought and our strength. We will with God's intelligence manifest the love. We stand within a pillar of fire of Shambhalic light. We stand within a column of fire of Shambhalic light, infused with the will, inspired by the will, and fired by the will, consumed by the will. We stand within the shadow of Shambhalic light, and will the will of God the King. Yes, will the will of God, yes, will the will of God, oh,
Meditation. In meditation deep, let us ponder on Shambhala's holy will, the will to bring fulfillment to our great Kumara's purpose sevenfold. the unknown, unseen, and unheard purpose of Shambhala's king. The purpose underlying revelation. The purpose yet unrecognized, which called the logos of our planet into creativity. The purpose most mysterious, evoking to activity the principle of pain. The hidden purpose of the holy thought within the mind of God, emerging through his robe of beauty, garment of our planetary deity. The purpose fast concealed behind desire and aspiration, behind the shape of God's intended plan. And finally, the secret sacred purpose long disguised by notes and tones and shades of music, sound, and color, breaking glorious on the rocky shores of lower earthly life, arising all within the splendid ritual of him we call the King of the Kumaras, Shambhala's holy king. Ponder well the sevenfold will of him who rules the seven worlds. Together and in oneness, we now declare alignment with the force of higher will. Together, in service of humanity and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's Holy Lord, we will to will the will of God, Melchizedek, the King. Let each of us now ponder on one act of will we will to will, one act of will long needed, long demanded by the soul, one act of will long overdue, to drive us forward on the path to light and love and life. Let us find the very thing which now needs willing and then doing, and will it with the force of mind and heart and blazing spirit, will it into being. Together and as one, let us say what we will do. Together let us say, I will, then follow with the deed. In service to humanity, and in the name of Christ and of Shambhala's holy Lord, I will. After me repeat. So mote it be, and help us all to do our part. Together. So mote it be, and help us all to do our part. Let us gather in the magical circle of invocation. Then, as wisdom adds to wisdom, we may well and truly say, not my will, but thine be done. Together, not my will, but thine be done. If anyone has aught to say for the welfare of this group, or of humanity, or of the holy earth, now is the time to speak. Let us sound the ancient mantram of the new and dawning age, the great invocation.